because I get frustrated sometimes, and y'all know how I feel like when our people get thrust into the spotlight, and we always give mainstream media access, and we don't give our own access. And I want to make sure that I did not do that to my own family. You know what I'm saying? I want to make sure that I wasn't out here talking to the other news channels, and I didn't at least come home. You know what I'm saying, to my peoples. But at the same time, I did want to keep y'all out of it too. Y'all know that, right? That was like one of the first things that I said. Like, stay out of it. Don't defend me. Stay neutral. But at the same time, though, there's a time and season for everything. And I just think right now is the time for me to share with my family what I'm going through, how I feel, and to really just kind of get into it as we approach the eve of the nomination process. So that's what we're here for. But I just wanted to let that be known. The whole purpose of this is so I can share with my family, because I ain't been able to talk to Shay, Maxwell, Tyra, and Summer, and Raya Hart publicly about like what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And it's affecting all of us. I know it is. It ain't just affecting me. It's affecting all of us because we are family. So
we are family, and we're always going to stand by you. And keeping us out of it was not real successful. Now, was it?
I mean, I don't know. We'll see how that. We'll see, right? Yeah. It's lonely. You get lonely sometimes, like for real. Like when you out there trying to do this work, it does get lonely, and that's really the reason why we formed the 502 Live Streamers, right? Because we was out there in the midst of a storm by ourselves, and wasn't nobody watching our back, nobody. So we was like, we looked around, saw each other, and we was like, well, we can support each other. You know what I'm saying? And we became a family. You know, so that's, you know, you always come back home at the end of the day because family and the people that love you are the ones that's most important. So
share lives, share lives, share lives.
So Antonio, let's get started. Explain what the Civilian Review Board's function is.
Okay, the Civilian Review Board function came out of course, you all know the Breonna Taylor case, right? It's one of the things that came out of that, and really what it is to do is it's an oversight. It's to oversee and take different situations that involve the police and look at them and make sure that justice is served, and it's that simple. This board right here, and this committee, whatever you choose to call it, will hopefully be unique because of subpoena power and other powers that other boards didn't have in the past. We do know that there's some legislation going on, right, that's trying to interfere with that. We do know that, right? So we understand that the battle for this board to have and truly be effective, that still continues. That still continues. So I want to make and let everybody know and be clear of that. But this board is really just to look at the truth, look at the facts, and the facts lead to justice, and that's what we need. We need true justice. That's it in a nutshell.
How did you become involved with the process of being a member of the Civilian Review Board nominee committee?
That's a question everybody's been asking. Okay, so I know that on paper it says that I'm self-nominated, but the truth of the matter is that I was at work one day. I received a phone call from Mayor Fisher, and he asked if I would be interested in being a part of the Civilian Review Board, and had I thought about it. And I told him that I had thought about it, but I hadn't really put any action into actually going through the process of it. And then I asked him, I said, you know, give me 3 reasons why you think I would be a good choice. And I'm not going to share those reasons, all right? I'll share them after because I don't want to entrap anything, all right? But they were, one of the reasons really stuck out. I mean, it really stuck out. It really hit home. And I decided that I did want to engage in this process of being serving on this board. I do feel like representation is important. I feel like everybody needs to have someone that looks like them, has similar experiences, has similar backgrounds, and just comes from the same perspective. You need to have those people at the table to represent you. And I felt like that's what I represent and that's what I reflect. And honestly, I didn't even, to be honest, going through the whole process, I never shared it with anybody but my wife. Nari was the only one I ever talked to about it. I didn't share it with people that was close to me. I didn't think it would. I kind of thought the process would go through and I won't make it to the end. You know what I'm saying? Because it was nothing that I was chasing after. But as we started getting deeper and deeper into the process, I saw, well, hey, this thing may actually happen. I might actually be able to represent my people. And a funny story is that when I found out that I had been nominated by the mayor, because at the end of it, the mayor still has to nominate everyone. I found out with everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Like the press release went out, and I didn't even know. I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know.
Surprise!
Yeah, surprise. Yeah, so I was just as surprised as everybody else that I made it to the end, like everybody else. But, you know, I was glad, though, because I really do, and y'all know this, I'm here to serve. That's it. That's my whole purpose in life. I am a foster child from the projects of Joliet, Illinois, and I made it. You know what I'm saying? But I only made it because I had people that believed in me. You know, my mom never gave up on me. My family never gave up on me. I was in a system that says if I'm in this certain system, you're a statistic. You won't make it out. You're going to go to jail and you're going to be dead with you being born into this system of foster care. And I survived. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't survive by myself. I survived by a lot of support. And a lot of that support came from the community. Because, you know, back in the 80s, Shay, you know, Maxwell Summer, Ryle Hart Tower, it was all about community. We took care of each other. You know, I got ass whoopings from the neighbor. You know what I'm saying? I went to the candy lady, stole and got, you know what I'm saying, got in trouble. The community raised you. So they were a part of my success. So the fact that I feel like I owe a debt to my community and to my people because I made it. I beat the statistic. You know what I'm saying? So my purpose has always been to serve because of that. And a lot of people don't know that backstory. A lot of people don't know that about me because I don't go out and yell at everywhere that I'm at. I don't share that I'm a foster kid. Like one of the real young prodigies just a couple weeks ago was like, I didn't know you was a foster kid, T. And I was like, yeah, I am. But I know I need to share that more. But it's not anything that I wear on my sleeve and wear on my heart. But that is the reason why I serve my community in the way that I do, because I do truly owe a debt. You know what I'm saying? Because community helped build me into who I am now. And again, they are responsible for my success and the reason why I did not become a statistic. So I think that's important for people to understand. I come from the bottom. I come from eating on a pot of beans for a whole week. That's what I come from. You know what I'm saying? I come from seeing the projects. You know, I'm going from, you know, being in the middle class family, you know, in Mayfield, Kentucky, having a good life, to one day being uprooted from that and being slung in the projects. And I'm like, damn, I'm poor. And at 6 or 7 years old, I know I'm poor. Like, I know it. I'm that young and I know it. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I come from. That's why I can share the experience of the people that are unspoken for, the people that I've forgotten about, the people that are in what we call the working poor. I understand what the working poor is. I understand what they go through. I understand what that is to have to live from paycheck to paycheck, or at times to not even have a paycheck, and you don't know where the next meal is coming from. Those are the people that I represent. Those are the people that I speak for. Those are the people that I represent, and I always will represent, because that's where I come from. And that's all I've ever wanted to do. I've always wanted to serve those people.
Antonio, the process of making the selections began in a meeting last Tuesday or Thursday, I can't remember, Thursday night, I guess, with a group called the Government Oversight Committee of Metro Council. It's composed of a number of Republicans, a number of Democrats, of varying belief systems. And it seemed, as the interviews progressed, that it was pretty much a statement that the candidates who were not related to the protests were getting passed quickly with no questions, but you and Stachel Bussey, who have been very, very active in our city for the last year, particularly working with the protest family, were grilled in a way that even one of the representatives said he had never seen happen in this committee or at Metro Council. And several of the representatives stood up and said, this is reprehensible. This is unconscionable. Describe what it was like for you to be sitting with the people who represent all of us, who we elect as officials, and being grilled over something like a Facebook post, when there were so many other more important things that I think could have been asked. Just talk to us about the feeling you had.
I mean, it was a range of emotions: surprise, anger, confusion, but also understood. I mean, let's keep it all the way real. This process is political, is what it is. It's not supposed to be, but it is. It's a political process. But I was surprised that it was done so blatantly to myself and Stachelle, who, I mean, me and Stachelle have done nothing but serve our community. That's all we've ever done.
That's right.
You know, and to be honest, and when you watch that video that Cal Gordon put together today, like, you see that body of work. You see the work. And that's all I said on that day. Allow me to tell my story. Allow me, don't just make me a post. Don't make T-Made a post. Don't make me that. Let my work speak for itself. That's all I kept saying, you know, to the people who were trying to hold me accountable. Look at my work. Look at what I've done. And I was telling them it's there. I gave them an opportunity to even look for it. It's there. Don't just pick and choose what you want to pick and choose. Because I already knew when they was coming at me like that. I already knew, look, I'm not even going to have to go look for it. Somebody else is going to dig it up. The people going to dig up the truth. And that's exactly what happened. The truth came out. But the truth always comes out. What's done in the dark always comes to light. So now we see that really it's about something else. But just to answer the question, just a range of emotions, you know. But for the most part, I think the biggest word that I could use that's accurate was just surprised. Was just really surprised at what was happening and what was going on. And honestly, I really wanted to protect Stachelle more than I could when she was, because I felt like they grilled her a little bit more than they did me. You know what I'm saying? But so being protective as well, you know what I'm saying, was another emotion that I was feeling. But at the end of the day, I am happy that my story is being told and we're being able to control our narrative like we doing now. Like we are, these cameras being right here, we all being represented in this room right now, we are controlling our narrative. And I know I shouldn't be speaking too much. I know that. And there will be a time, and I have been quiet for a season. Like after Tuesday, I shut up for a while. I ain't say nothing. Because guess what that was? That was a time of reflection for everybody. Not just myself, but for everybody. Let's be quiet and let's reflect on what happened. Now let's get a game plan together. Now let's decide what we're going to do. Now let's put something into action. And right now, it's action time. It's time to kind of start telling our narrative. We don't want another narrative to be told. We should be our own storytellers. So I'm talking now. After I give this talk with you all, I'm going to shut up again. The work's out there again. I've said what I need to say. Shut up. Let the process be done. There's a time and a season for everything. You know what I'm saying? So, but what's important is that, like, our stories have to be told from our standpoint. And that's the reason why I won't be quiet right now. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why I wanted to get in the room with people that I love, that I trust. You know what I'm saying? That I know I can confide in. And just really give you all an honest story about what this is really about and what I'm going through. You know, that's really what this is about. And I'm happy to share it with you all. Seriously.
I just want to say I'm very proud of you and Stachelle because I was pretty shocked myself watching that just play out in front of all of us.
Mm-hmm.
And for those that didn't see it, we will restream it. I will restream it so you can see what we're talking about. But I was very proud of you and Stachelle, the way that you all held your cool, because it was like they were trying, you know, and you all held it together and you showed exactly what you represent, which is community, love, hope, and togetherness. And so just as your sister, I want to say I'm very proud of you. I've known you for a very long time. You've done so many amazing things, even in my walk. And I think it would be a very bad choice for Louisville to leave you out of this, because you are a perfect representative, because you can come from all different angles and all different aspects. I've seen you do it firsthand for many years, and so I don't really have questions. I mean, because it's
Yeah,
out there.
you
right?
know me,
We all
yeah,
see
you know
it.
me,
Well,
yeah.
and then because we all seen what happened, you know what I
Right.
mean. And so I would hope that the people that were questioning and things, that they also reflected this week, you know, and took the time to actually get to know the man and the king and the father and husband and friend and mentor you are to so
Yeah.
many in the city. And so I don't really have a question. I just had a statement.
Yeah.
I love you and I'm proud of you.
I love you too, Summer. And I do want to say this too, y'all. Like, what we doing right now, what happened last Tuesday, the whole process, this is really, like, when I reflect on it, like, for real reflect, this has never been about being on a committee. Never. Like, that was never the focus, to be on a board or sit on the committee. It's always been about serving my people. You know what I'm saying? And making sure that my people are represented. That's all it's about. But in doing that, I understand that at times you do have to transition to another role. And God is saying to me, it's time to transition. And I've talked with Shay about this plenty of times. Plenty of times I've talked to Shay about this. Shay, I got to transition. I got to do something else. You know what I'm saying? Been on the front lines of the protest. Been an activist. Done this, done that. I've seen what the root of the problem is. I get it. But I got to transition to another role. I got to be at the table. That's where God needs to use me now. That's how I can be more effective. You know what I'm saying? And then God just puts you on the path to where he wants you to be at. So that's all this has ever been about. It's not about, I don't want people to focus on, and I know people want to see me and Stacia on the committee. They want to see us there. And I want what the people want. Trust me. But we have to understand it's a bigger picture than that. It's more than just about being on the committee or being on the board. It's about serving the people. So regardless if I get confirmed, Stacia don't get confirmed, Stacia gets confirmed, I don't get confirmed, we got work to do. We still gonna continue to do the work. And Maxwell, you've known me at 104.7 FM. You know I've been doing this work. Even before all this started. Breonna Taylor and all this. I was doing the work before that. This is just something I do. Like I said, I owe a debt to my community. And I know the purpose God has put on my life. And this gives me fulfillment, y'all. This serving my people and standing up for my people and giving them a voice, that gives me fulfillment. Like when I leave this earth, I want my grandkids to look at that and say, damn, you know what I'm saying? Damn, you know, look what my granddad did. Look what he was. You know what I'm saying? I want to leave a story that they could tell. Because my family did the same thing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I've ever shared this with y'all, but the reason why I do what I do in media is because of my Uncle Sam. My Uncle Sam Burge in Paducah, Kentucky. He was the first black anchor on TV in Kentucky ever. He was the first black on TV. Uncle Sam Burge. Yeah, Sam Burge. That's my uncle. Yeah. And I remember being in middle school, Shay. I remember being in middle school, and I was cutting up. Like, I was, being bad and all that stuff in Paducah. And my mom was like, I'm going to take...
Being bad in Paducah?
Yeah, being bad in Paducah. Yeah, because Paducah's small. It's small. It ain't nothing to do, y'all. Paducah, it ain't shit to do but get in trouble. Trust me, y'all. That's another reason why my mom got her nursing license and got out of there, because she knew there's no opportunity there. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, she was like, look, I want to take you to see your Uncle Sam. You know what I'm saying? And I just remember walking into this NBC Studios in Paducah and just seeing my uncle on set and just him being animated in front of that camera, and just like, and he kind of turned into a different damn person. I was like, this don't even look like Uncle Sam. He just kind of transformed into a different person. And from that moment, I knew, I was like, I want to be in front of a camera. I want to perform. That's what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? So I'm inspired by the legacy of my ancestor. You know what I'm saying? My Uncle Sam. And I want my kids to have that same legacy. My grandkids to see that same thing, that they can see me work in the community. They can see me in front of these cameras. They can say, okay, I'm born into something. You get what I'm saying? Because that's why a lot of our kids are just so lost, because they're not born into anything that they know of, because we have a loss of history. We don't know where we come from. You know what I'm saying? We don't know where our roots are. And that's why we see so many of our kids just lost and confused, and they don't know their purpose. But, fortunately, I was able to get a little piece of where my root and where my legacy was that rules my path right now through my Uncle Sam. And he's like, again, he's the biggest reason why I'm right here right now, and I do what I do as far as media and wanting to be in the media world and be black owned and just to, you know what I'm saying, just to tell these stories. You know, my Uncle Sam People Beat. You know what I'm saying? That was the name of his show. It was called People Beat. And what he did is that he showcased people on his show that had unique talents and unique gifts. And I always wanted to do that. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, that's what this whole thing is about, y'all. This is about, you know, me representing, you know, my family, leaving a legacy for my family, and just I keep saying, just to be my own storyteller. That's important. And I want to inspire people. I want to inspire people that they can do the same. That's important.
Let me say that you do inspire people, and you've inspired me for several years, but most specifically for the last year as we have walked through this incredible year together as 502 live streamers. And one of the things that I think is most important for people to understand about you is that I've stood by your side through so many circumstances where there's been conflict.
Too many.
And the words that you speak and the way that you speak them have de-escalated many situations and have literally saved our lives on a number of occasions. The first of which that comes to mind, the day that we confronted the Angry Viking and his 500 rabid followers when there were 50 protesters, live streamers, and mainstream media at the square. And that was the day that you made the fateful post that was so much maligned during the committee meeting. So, you know, my statement in the letter that I wrote to the
beautiful letter too, Tyra. Thank you so much. Beautiful.
Explain what you went through that day and why you made that post that night.
I mean, what we went through that day was hell. Y'all know that.
Yeah, we thought we was
gonna die. We thought we was gonna die. I remember distinctively going over to Shay and say, "Shay, run." Run, and she ran.
I was right.
I remember distinctly looking at Riot Heart and saying, "Hey, you good, bro? You good? Summer, I think you need to go home. Tyra, get back. You too close. You know what I'm saying? I ain't say nothing to Maxwell because Maxwell want that. He want that smoke. Maxwell want that smoke. So I ain't say nothing to him. I was like, he ain't gonna listen anyway. You know what I'm saying?
You know what was beautiful about that day? That shows just how important your role in this community is, because like you said, most of us have been doing the work in this community long before, and you know, the Breonna Taylor case, you know what I mean? For many years, you know. And that right there.
That's how we met.
Exactly. That's exactly
Summer, we met doing the work. We didn't meet playing. We met doing the work.
We was doing the work. Came on the radio show and started talking about, you know, just because I'm like you. I want to tell my story. I want people to understand that they can come from anything.
Right.
I'm also a Chicago girl, too. You know, Chicago, we get in trouble up there.
Right. Yeah, we do. So we Illinois is crazy. Right.
But my point being is that the way you use that de-escalation, the way all those tools that you use on an everyday basis in our community with our youth and with just different situations that we do. So even though they took that post not understanding the emotions behind that day, we really felt let down by our city, and we felt like we were going to die. And so I would hope that they would understand that instead of seeing the post, look at the actions you did that day. We kept people alive. Because otherwise, it would have been a bloodbath. And unfortunately, you know, our city let us down that day. The trust, for me, you know, and I'm going to keep it on me, it broke. Like, it was just like, wow, like, they really let us be out here. And that's what, you know, whether they say that's not what happened or not, that's how I felt. I felt like they left us out there to die that day. So instead of them looking at that post, I wish they would look at the de-escalation and the just everything that you did that day.
Well,
that we did, not I did,
well,
that we did.
Let's set up
as
a
a
little
collective.
background on that, okay? This is important.
It's important. Context is important.
Context is extremely important. 2 previous times before the Angry Viking, we had groups come to town in which LMPD set up literal riot lines, barricades, dump trucks, took every precaution that they could to separate the conflicting parties. The first was the day that Tyler Girth died, which was when the American Freedom Fighters threatened to march. The second was the day the NFAC came to town for their first formation. Both times, the police presence was massive and absolutely essential, they thought, to keep these parties from coming into play with each other. The day the Angry Viking came, all of us were down at the riverfront, listening to their rhetoric for 3 hours all morning. And they made a decision to move. They made a decision to walk to Waterfront Park, and then they decided that they were going to come to the square, the seat of the entire protest, and confront what they said was Grandmaster Jay. Of course, we all knew Grandmaster Jay and the NFAC were out at Churchill Downs because it was the delayed Derby Day on September the 5th. There were cops stationed at several points within a 2-block radius on the corners. There was no protection. There were no police officers. There were no barricades. There were 2 dump trucks parked at either end of the square. That's the context that we're talking about. And we all kept asking, where are the police? When are you guys going to come out? You guys, we got 500 people, heavily armed and very ramped up, coming. And as we were standing there, Antonio, side by side, with the rest of the folks who were in this room sharing that time too, we were getting reports from people. They're passing the waterfront. They're passing the Yum Center. They're almost up to Jefferson. I mean, it was like counting down
play by play
to our death. It literally was.
I was one of the few people that followed the march, so everyone was like,
yeah, I remember
my
seeing right
stream,
here.
Like, here they come, they're
Yep.
on the way.
And it grew as it came. The crowd grew as it came. So there's the background. There's the context. Now explain to me why you made that post.
I mean, it's simple, and we talk, you know, for us to be, and I'm not. Let me just say, for me to be so anti-police like the narrative is trying to lead, on that day I talked to the police before and after, like I've always done. And look, I've been criticized by my community, by the same people that I serve that love me, for talking to police. I've been criticized for it. You or I. Why are you talking to them? Why are you? But I can't change who I am. That's what I do. I talk to people. And I'm always going to talk to people because I'm a communicator. That's just the spirit God put in me. So that context is the most important thing to understand. That on that day, I talked to police before and after the events of the Angry Vikings coming into our space at Breeway. And then once we were at Breeway, we all had made up our minds that on this day we might die. But we was committed to the story. We was committed to telling the story because there wasn't nobody else going to tell it. But it was the range of emotions that we felt on. We were frustrated. We were angry. We were confused. We was mad as hell. I mean, it was, and all of us felt those emotions. It wasn't, so that post that you saw, that didn't just represent, now I'll take accountability for it because I'm never going to run away from something that I did. But what I will say, though, is that wasn't just T. May's thoughts. That was the thought of the people who were involved in that. That is how we felt. And it wasn't about it, and you cannot ask people to not be emotional about when they are in the line and they are in, you know, they can lose their lives. You cannot ask people not to be emotional about that and not to feel some type of way and to be a robot and not respond. That's people. You can't ask people to do that. Yeah, that's unfair.
For the council members to use that
to discount that
not being down there that day.
Yeah,
is a problem.
And you and what I love about, you know, social media is that we do get the date stamp everything when we post it.
Yep. And
clearly you see that was a day where everybody that's a part of this movement, we were tested. That was a test for us on that day, and we survived.
Yes, we did.
We survived.
But I want to go back to that day.
Yeah.
So I want to go back to that actual day because the thing that bothered me during the questioning, one was the level of, they just raked you over the coals. And here I am sitting here watching my brother, a black man who I know, and I will say this publicly, I don't often get to say without any question, without any doubt, that I understand someone's motive. You are one of the few people that when I'm asked, I can always say, I know for a fact what he does is to improve our community.
Wow.
Even if it's at his own demise and his own detriment. I've seen you give everything. And so, as I'm watching them question you, and I see that they're taking this completely out of context, I want to go back to that day. I want to go back to that moment because I want you to get the chance to actually talk about the plethora of feelings that you had, because it was one of the most emotional days I think we had covering. But also, I watched you. And as I'm cowering in the bush, that you, once you told me, let me just say,
go run.
Shaq ain't got in the bushes.
Right,
Mom
yes.
didn't raise a fool.
Yes.
It was just one of the craziest days in all of my career. So I can only imagine what it has been, not just career-wise, but professionally. So I want to go back to that day because I want people to understand even what was going on around you in your minds as you made this post, because they took it so far out of context that it does the day a disservice, because now they're trying to nullify and quiet and quelch what actually went on that day. This was a very serious event that happened, and it was, we knew we were going to die that day.
Yeah.
Everybody just made their peace.
We made our peace with it.
So take us back to that and just kind of talk about what it was like as you made that post. And what was
I mean, to be honest, Shay, it was almost like it was an out-of-body experience for us.
Yeah.
Before and after.
Sure was.
Because what they don't realize is because we face death like that, like, we still have trauma from that.
Yeah.
And the thing about it, I want everybody to understand that's watching, I know for me, and it's got to be for you all, that is the day I'm asked to recount mostly.
Yeah.
Antonio, getting call. I'm talking about getting calls from everywhere.
Yeah.
I got to do a call next week that's coming all the way from Missouri. And what do they want me to mainly talk about?
Yeah.
They mainly want me to talk about that video, the Angry Viking Day. And I ain't had no therapy for that. I ain't never went to therapy to deal with that.
Right.
To deal with the fact that we were in that type of conflict and we survived it. That was war. You get what I'm saying? We ain't had no therapy for that. Nobody's talked to us about that. I don't think we've even amongst each other been in the room and said, do y'all really understand the depth of what we lived through? Like, a lot of people don't live through that. You get what I'm saying? That type of trauma. Look what just happened in Boulder, Colorado. Those people didn't get to live through that trauma. We got to live through our trauma. And we ain't got therapy for that. Like, so, Shay, it was an out-of-body experience that I went through, you know, and even afterwards making that post. I don't even really remember making the post.
Right.
I'm going to keep it all the way real. I don't even remember making that post. But that's how traumatic that day was. Everything was moving in fast motion. Everything was just fast. And the next thing I know, we wake up and everybody is just telling you that you were a hero, you saved lives, you know, how impactful it was. And you kind of don't even remember what happened. All you know is that you were just you were there to save people, and if you had to die to save people, you were committed to doing that.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Let me just say that
So-
I heard you at the square telling the protesters to stand down.
Yes.
I heard you talking to the Angry Viking and saying, this is not what you think it is. We
No.
are holding space for people who have died in this movement.
We are not the NFAC. That's not who we
I heard
are.
you calling the police. We all were calling the police. We called numerous people whose numbers we had on our phones. We went to the corners. We begged the police to bring some sort of reinforcements. You talked to everyone that day,
Everyone.
begging for help.
Mm-hmm.
And that was what happened. No help came.
Mm-hmm. And you can't ask people to not feel some kind of way about that. You just can't. And if you do, you truly don't serve people. You don't.
You weren't there.
When you can't empathize with somebody who has faced death, right? When you can't empathize with that emotion of how they feel, that trauma, you can't say that you truly know how to serve people. You just can't. You know, you just can't. Like I said, I can't even really. I know I made the post, obviously, but I can't even remember when I did it. I didn't even remember it. It never came up in my mind that I would be a nominee on this board, right? And I not once did I think, oh, remember that post I made about the LMPD? Never thought.
Right.
You know what I thought would get in the way? They gonna say, how the hell is T-May gonna be a part of media and be on this committee and not keep his damn mouth shut? That's what I thought the barrier, you know what I'm saying? The barrier was gonna be. That's what I thought, but never this. Never making a post that I don't even remember, because it was a day that was so traumatic that we want to block it out of our minds. But like I'm saying though, we're all asked to relive that day over and over again, because it for a lot of people, it just shows the spirit, the human spirit of what happens when we truly come together and we unite. We understand each other. Like, humans want to survive at the end of the day. and we'll do whatever we got to do to survive. And we survived on that day.
I think one of the things that hit us the hardest, Antonio, was when we were standing in front of the police line after they finally came out, because somebody set a smoke bomb off. That's what the key was for the police to come out. It had already been generally de-escalated. We had escorted the angry Viking and his followers out of the square, literally escorted them. And suddenly there were police there coming out in a line and forming, and it was interesting that they formed to block the protesters. They did not necessarily form to block the angry Vikings people, who were all the heavily armed people. And you and I were standing there, and I heard you talking to this police officer.
So you heard me doing what?
Talking to this police
I was doing what?
Talking to this police
So
officer.
why would I talk to someone or something that I hate and can't stand? I'm not gonna want to be around it. You get what I'm saying?
Yep. And you were asking.
Was I yelling?
No, you were. Well, we were all yelling.
Yeah, we all were. Yeah, we were right. Yeah, we
you
were.
You were involved in
Yes.
this conversation, and you kept asking, and you kept going up the line. You kept going up the line. You kept going higher.
And I said it was unacceptable.
And you kept saying, this is
It's
absolutely
unacceptable.
unacceptable. Explain to me why it happened. There was no explanation.
You're right. But I still felt like it was important that we continue to talk to LMPD.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, cutting off the barrier of the line of communication, what does that solve?
Nothing.
It don't solve nothing. You're not gonna get to what you want, because what you want is the solution, right? So if you stop talking, you're not gonna get no solution. So I was still trying to understand and talk to the officers about what just happened. Why didn't this happen? Why is this happening? You know, just trying to still get an understanding. I'm still open. That means I'm not being biased. I'm not making up my own mind about what I think they did or didn't do. I'm asking them. You know what I'm saying? That's unbiased. That means I'm not forming my own opinion. I'm asking them.
It's called objectivity.
Look, perfect word to use. Perfect word.
And that's the word that
And that's all I want.
criticize.
And that's all I want everyone to understand. I want everybody to understand that is who I am. I always, even in conflict, I still come into it with an open mind. I want to let me understand you. Let me even though I may think that's messed up, let me understand you though. Let me see from your perspective what's really going on.
Well, I can say from my perspective, Antonio, that in our 502 live streamer family over the last year, just like every family, we've had conflicts.
Yeah.
And you have talked to me if I've been involved in a conflict and said, Tara, explain to me what you're thinking, and then I'll tell you what I think. And what I respect about you the most is that you always want to hear all sides of the story before you render any kind of opinion. And that's something that a lot of people don't do.
Yeah.
So congratulations
Thank
on that ability to
And
not only de-escalate, but to mediate, and also to have the sense to know that everybody's perspective is different, and to be able to appreciate those different perspectives.
And Tyra, that's something that I wasn't born with. I learned that. That was a learning process. I mean, I'm a Taurus, y'all. I'm hard-headed. You know what I'm saying? So there was a time where this hard-headed young man only saw his side of the story. All that mattered was my side of the story. But I learned through life and through wisdom that it can't just be about you all the time. You know what I'm saying? It's bigger than just you. You have to see all sides, and when you see all sides, you truly get to the truth. And when you get to the truth, like, you make those around you happy. Ain't that the point?
Yep.
Like, you want to see those that you love happy. That's the whole point. So that's why it's so important to see all sides, because there's relevance in everything. Two things can be true at the same time. It really can.
One of the things that I mentioned in the letter that I wrote to the Metro Council people was that I did some quick research on several of the other candidates who flew through the nomination process without so much as a question. I found some pretty objectionable posts on those pages. I found some strong anti-Trump sentiment, which no Republican committee member questioned. I found some transphobic conversation going on. I found some misogynistic comments that were made by these other candidates who happened to be white, but not one question was asked about that social media. Why do you think this post drew so much ire?
You know what? I don't think it's important why I think. What I think is important is why do the people think? So right now, I'm going to say, what do the people think? What do you all think? Why? Why do you all think? That's what's important. It's not important what I think. What's important is what you think. As a community, what do you think? Why do you think that was done to myself and State Shell? That's the only thing that matters.
Well, I said it seemed to be
I could have my opinion, you know, but I want to leave it there for right now. I will answer that in time. You know what I'm saying? What I think, but you gotta understand, I'm still trying to process this, Tyra.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to process a lot of things, and that's part of me being open-minded. You know, being slow to judge and be opinionated. Being slow to judge and be opinionated. And sometimes you just gotta shut up, lay back. You know what I'm saying? Let it settle. You know what I'm saying? And just kind of just live with it for a while. Live in it. And then it'll come to you, the reason. Because I'm not there yet. I'm still going through the storm. But what I do feel, though, is I want everybody to be in that space to where they're deciding for themselves. Not me telling them, but they're deciding for themselves the reason why. That's what we need to be reflecting on right now. Why do you feel this happened to myself and State Shell? You as a people, the community. Because at the end of the day, that's what's going to ring the loudest, right? Well, and that's what's ringing the loudest right now.
It requires an honest conversation.
Yeah, and it requires, yeah.
We have a lot of citizens in Jefferson County and beyond that don't want to have that honest conversation. That want to be sheltered from the truth, but the truth is staring you right in the eye. There was one night where you saw it so blatantly, you did not need an explanation unless you had the IQ of kumquat. It was just there. And I just was, like I said, because I know you both, because I've worked with you both, and I know your integrity. And like I said, I don't often get to say without question, these are folks that I know do the work because it's the right thing to do. Seeing that and having friends on Metro Council and people that I talk to constantly, I was very bothered. As a taxpayer, as a citizen, it bothered me to see that the two African American candidates had to go with that. But I'm more bothered now by the people who are not raising their voice to say something about it. So my challenge to everyone that's watching my stream and beyond is use your voice. This is the time that we must amplify the folks who are doing the work for the right reason. And like I said, it doesn't always happen. It's one of those things. This last year has taught me that. And, you know, I'm very vocal. You know, everyone knows I speak out against opportunists and those who just want their own shine. You too literally are not. You are textbook. You are biblical.
Yeah, you're going to make me cry.
What community work is about.
That's
when
right.
it comes to uplifting. And so, for me to sit there and see that happen, you guys, I mean, I cried. And I was actually texting Hannah Drake. I think she's watching.
Yeah.
And I sent her a personal text. And because I saw how upset she was. And, you know, she was saying that she was crying. Because for us, and it's different, as a Black American, somebody to see that because we know what we see. But it also, when I look at you guys, it is also visualizing hope. Because now I see a board that I believe prior to this time last year, they may not have wanted to even entertain certain nominations. So to see you guys up there, that is a beacon of hope.
It's progress.
I agree. I believe policy is power. We have to change policy. Pull away at the issue from all angles, which is why I support, you know, from grassroots, folks doing political change, and everything in between. And I believe that you all have opened the door. So my challenge is everyone that's listening, we have to get behind them. We have to make our voices heard to amplify their voices. That is a responsibility we have. You cannot say that you're on the right side of history if you're not willing to speak up against this wrong, because this wrong will keep us from getting right. Because we do not have fair representation on a civilian review board, we are back to square one.
And then I love what you said too, Shay. Like, it's basically what you're saying is that when that was done to me and State Shell, right? Me and State Shell, we were not the only ones hurt.
Absolutely.
Like, that hurt you. That hurt Maxwell. That hurt you, Tyra.
Yes.
That hurt Summer. You know what I'm saying? That hurt you, Rod Hart. It hurt Jason. Jason Dow saw his post. It hurt Hannah. It hurt John. It hurt Kyle. You know what I'm saying? It hurt Amanda. You know what I'm saying? It hurt so many people besides just me and State Shell. It hurt a community. that being done. And that's what we got to get out of. Why are we continuing to hurt our people when we say we are here to serve them? You know what I'm saying? That, like, I got to look beyond myself. I got to look beyond State Shell. It hurt a community seeing that be done on that night. I mean, and that's one thing about this that I'm so grateful for, this experience, because like I told them on that night, what you doing is you helping Antonio grow. You helping me evolve. Like, right. You are building a strong piece of work when you're doing this type of stuff, because you are building character in me. You know what I'm saying?
You also thanked them for holding you.
Thank you for holding me accountable, because you know what? This may not be the last time that I go through a storm like this, Tyra. It comes with the word.
That's right.
I've been told that by the greatest of people that do this work. This is what this work comes with. It comes with scrutiny. It comes with criticism. It comes with people lying on you. It comes with people telling a false narrative. But you don't know how to handle it until you go through it. You got to go through the storm to know how to deal with it. So that's all they've done. They're teaching me how to deal with the storm. Because God has a big purpose over my life. I know he does. He's got a big purpose over my life. He's helping me to deal with this storm. So it's building me. It's building my spirit, my character. It's my spinach, Popeye. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. You know, they really don't realize what the energy they're giving us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They're teaching us how to. I can't. And it'll come out after this, but they're even teaching us how to organize even better by what they did. They don't realize how stronger they're making us by putting us through these trials and these tribulations and these unnecessary situations. But all it does is empower us even more, and it shows us our true power and our true greatness.
And it's revelation.
And it's revelation.
Who to watch out.
It does.
And that's already in seat.
Yeah.
So you have
Exposed.
to understand this is truly a political play. This
Yes.
is something that can take us to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I said we have a responsibility
Yes.
to stand behind you and use our
Mm-hmm.
voices. Everyone has
We
social
do.
media. You know, everybody has, and now here comes the marketing me. I was doing
Yeah.
5, 5, 5.
Here you go.
I need 5 posts, 5
Yeah.
minutes, and 5 hurrahs
Yeah.
for the folks who are doing the work.
Mm-hmm.
We have an obligation to get out there and do the work. And
We
I'm
do.
reading some of the comments and the fixes in there giving you cheers.
Fix it. What's up, nephew? What's up, nephew? What's up, Fix It? Yeah.
Everybody, but here's
Yeah.
the thing. I'm seeing a lot of black men who are in here. And please understand, you cannot say, and this is for the city of Louisville, this is for Metro government and every entity that is tied to them. You cannot say that you want this city to improve, that you care about this city, that you want to see change if you're not willing to help usher in change. If you are standing at the door with your hand on the lock, keeping change from coming in, you are not a part of the solution. You are part of the problem. And to sit there and stonewall and just stop two people who are true on the ground, political activists, community activists who are level-headed. I mean, two of the most, as far as it comes, as far as conflict, you guys can work things out between Satan and Satan's little baby and make things good. I'm always impressed because I'm not always at level head. You know, I get emotional at times, and that's what even those in government, they should want that. They should want that from the citizens on a review board. So to stand there and to keep you guys from coming out now makes me as a citizen question, what are your true motives? Do you really want change? And that's from the top to the bottom. And those are the questions we should be asking. And that's why I said we have to use our voice to amplify you guys and support you all and stand with you, because this isn't just a board. This is a groundbreaking movement, because it's the beginning of many boards, many seats, many council seats, mayor, governor. This just trickles out across the nation. Please believe.
Yes, and we can be like, we have a real good opportunity to be the blueprint for many cities on what can be done when true police reform is achieved. Like, shouldn't we want to be known for that? I mean, why let Breonna Taylor die in vain? We don't want that. We want her death to come out and reveal something and fix something. You know what I'm saying? We know that's what her family will want. For her death to heal and fix something. Let's fix something. That's why we're here. It came out of her death. This came out of her death. So let's do it for real. Like, and Louisville has that opportunity to do it. But we're not gonna do it by doing politics as usual. It's not gonna happen that way. We have to do something that's brand new, something we've never done before. It's got to be radical. It's got to be innovative, and you cannot be scared of change. You cannot. And there are just some people who don't want to see change, y'all. They don't want to see it. They do not want to see change, but that's what we are here. We are here to transform a community. That's where each one of us around this table, we are committed to change the community through what we do. We're committed to it. You know, and it don't just stop with us. There are many people, and that's again what I was getting to is that, you know, through this process, another thing that I've learned is just the overwhelming support that me and Stachel have had. You know what I'm saying? From people just, you know, inboxes from people just randomly that I haven't heard from in years, just telling me how much they are supporting me. And I wrote the council person a letter. You know what I'm saying? Just those phone calls. I mean, it means so much. So I want to let people know that I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. It is felt. It's appreciated. And I have made the only day I didn't make myself available was on that Tuesday. I didn't want to be bothered with nobody. I shut my phone off. I just wanted to talk to Nairi. That was it. But after that, I have had my phone on. I've answered every call, even phone numbers that I don't know, I've answered, you know what I'm saying? Because I want everybody to have access to me and to be able to support me, because that's what keeps me going. The support is that's the energy that we drive on. Just knowing people honestly and genuinely, they appreciate you. And that's what I've seen through this whole thing. I've seen people appreciate the work that me and Stachel have done, and I just want to thank everybody for that. That is the most beautiful part of what I've gone through. It's just to see that people, you know, appreciate you for the work that you do. You know what I'm saying? So I am blessed for that. I'm blessed for that. So
well, and for those
and Shay, if you keep on, you're gonna make me cry.
That's right. For those who wonder why Stachel is not part of this interview, Stachel got a positive recommendation. Stachel passed the committee. She came out with a 5-3 vote, I think, or 3-5-4 vote.
5-4.
5-4, and you came back with a 3-5 negative rating.
And I wanted just us be we family too. So I kind of just wanted this I was selfish with this, to be honest, because and then I'm gonna lean on this again, y'all. Like, I practice what I preach. I do not like, and it's been done to me plenty of times, where I've had people that I know be involved in a news cycle, and they leave me out of the news cycle, knowing I'm media. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like how you know what I do? Why you gonna leave me out? You know what I'm saying? And it's important that, you know, when we're telling our stories, it has to be told amongst people that you know, that you love, and that you trust. And this was important for me to do, y'all. And honestly, there's a group of people that's really helping me, honestly. There's a group of people that's really helping me, and they really helping me to really get through. And they're advising, talk as least as you can. You know what I'm saying? We're not trying to silence you, Antonio, but do as little as, you know what I'm saying, as you can do. You know what I'm saying? But I'm driven by my spirit. I'm driven by what I know is right. And it was only right for me to sit here with you all and talk with you all today. Now, after I do this, I'm shutting up. I'm letting everybody know. I ain't saying nothing else after today. It's time for me to shut up, reflect, and let the process happen.
It's a season of silence.
It's a season of silence for everybody. There's a time and place for everything, ain't it, Shay? You know what I'm saying? That's what wisdom has taught us. That's what this life has taught us. There's a time for it. You know what I'm saying? And I will shut up
but
and
now
let the
is
word
the time
speak.
for others to speak up for you.
Yeah,
And
but don't y'all stop speaking up.
right.
I gotta be in the Garden of Gethsemane right now, y'all. I have to. You know what I'm saying? Not trying to put myself in the Jesus role, but y'all gotta understand, I study the life of Christ. I study his life. And one of the most pivotal moments in his life that I really, really love studying is when he was in that Garden of Gethsemane and he was praying. And I think everybody reaches that Garden of Gethsemane moment in their lives where you just got to be quiet and you got to pray. I'm at that moment right now. That's where I'm at. After this, I got to go to the Garden of Gethsemane. I got to pray. I got to focus. I got to meditate. I got to talk to God. I got to be one with the Spirit. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, this is God's plan. Like I said, this ain't nothing I sought after. I didn't seek after this. You know what I'm saying? This is God's plan. So it's going to happen however it happens. But no matter what happens, y'all know I'm going to keep doing this work.
That's right.
I'm going to keep putting myself around people who do the work, and we going to get this work done. We going to get this work in. we're gonna get it done. We know there's people who don't want to see it done, but change is coming, y'all. Change is gonna come. So y'all stay encouraged. You know, I'm good. I'm doing okay. Was there some downtime? Yeah, there was some times where I was like, man, this is crazy, because they trying to tell y'all I'm somebody I'm not. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then that
People that don't, and I'm real critical about that. Like, I want people to, like, I've never met a stranger. You get what I'm saying? I'm an open book to people. And you telling people that I don't even know, you're teaching them to hate me. Because that's basically what happened.
Yep.
They teaching people that don't even know me to hate me.
That's right.
Based on a damn post that I made. You know what I'm saying? And that's just so unfair. So the reason why this was important is to be among family, tell my story, and make sure that we controlling this narrative. We are.
That's right.
We ain't gonna let nobody else tell our story for us ever again. That ain't gonna happen.
And for those
That's
who
why
want to-
502 live streamers exist.
For
That's
those
right.
who want to speak up now, courtesy of Amanda Langford, who just said we love
Yes,
you.
Amanda, love you, love
She
you.
gave us an entire
Yeah.
list of all of the telephone numbers and emails. For
Yes,
every Metro
Amanda is
Council member,
amazing. Amanda, you are amazing.
which I have posted on my page, and others have posted on their pages as well to make it quick and easy for you to get in touch. Let Metro Council know that you expect Antonio T. May Taylor to be confirmed, and that you expect Stacia Bussey to be confirmed, and help to continue to shape the kind of civilian review board that is so needed. And that's people not only of skin diversity, but of thought diversity. People who are able to be objective, people who are able to hear other people's side, people who are able to make decisions based upon the facts. The man sitting in front of this camera is one of the best men that I know. And I look up to him, and I love him, and I appreciate him, and I respect and admire him, and I have never seen a situation in which he has not handled himself with the utmost character, and that included last Tuesday night. So my congratulations to you, because I think I would have been a little bit more implosive if I'd been in that seat. Thank you for your character, thank you for your kindness, thank you for your generosity, thank you for your goodness, and mostly thank you for your capability of being objective, and of being a de-escalator, and of being a mediator, and an excellent person to put on the Civilian Review Board.
Thank you. Is that a wrap?
All right, you guys.
I love
know my
y'all.
challenge. Stand with him. Make your voice heard. Utilize your platforms, and make sure that you are a part of the solution and not a part of the problem. So the negativity, don't feed into it. Don't give it a voice. Instead, drown it out with what's right, what's positive, and what will create change.
I gotta give one shout out. I'm sorry, and also I got a request from people. I want to give out. I have to give a shout out to Cal Gordon and the people with Take the Seat. Thank you all so much. There's an amazing piece that's out there, and it's my story, y'all. It's my story through this whole storm. Just please look at that. The narrative, just controlling. Just look at that piece. It's on Take the Seat Facebook page. Go look at that. That is the true story of what's going on right now, and it tells my whole story of who I've been and what I've done through this whole movement, and it's undisputable. It's undisputable. So I want to thank Cal Gordon for that beautiful piece of work.
Yep.
I already told him it's gonna be played at my eulogy when I die. It's that powerful. It's gonna be played at my eulogy when I die, and I'm proud of it.
Yeah, and you
I'm
should
proud of it because it shows a life of purpose. That's what it shows, y'all.
And Kyle
And it
says
show-
it's on my page as well.
It's on
We're gonna
Kyle's
share it.
page,
We're gonna
yeah.
share it to our
And
And
page.
share it, y'all. Let's continue, y'all, and don't come out of this with hate, y'all. Like, lead with love, please. Please lead with love. Protect your spirit, but don't come out of this with hate. All right, we're gonna come out on the other side. We're gonna love now. Now we ain't Michelle Obama either, though,
Right.
because when they go low, we get low. Dum. We Lil John on 'em. When they go low, we get low. We ain't Michelle Obama, I always say. We don't do that. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we doing right now. We get low, boy, because that truth is out there right now, and it's undisputable. And that's how we get low. We get low with the truth. Love y'all. All right?
Yeah.
All right, y'all share and
Love y'all.
Call,
All right, darling.
call everybody.
See y'all. We can ready to eat. We can ready to
We
eat.
can ready to eat.
Love